Hello, and welcome to the Ethics and Profession presentation. 16th time's a charm, right? Kidding. My name is Wesley, and I have chosen case study Trade Secrets. It's not who you know. Basically, this case study comes down to a particular employee. Please forgive my pronunciation. Kai-Fu Lee. It basically starts off as a corporate vice president of Microsoft's Interactive Services division. He's approached by Google. This happens early on, back in 2005. Come June, July 2005, Google approaches him and says, hey, we would like for you to head up a new research effort in China. Obviously, this must be very lucrative to Lee because it's Google, and they offer him a $10 million compensation package. Pretty substantial, in my opinion. I don't know what an executive in a tech company makes these days, but still, I gotta imagine $10 million as a sign-on bonus. Gotta be pretty significant. I don't care who you are, right? I don't know. In any case, Lee says, hey, sounds good. I'm down. From the research I said, he ended up taking a sabbatical from Microsoft. During that time, he told his supervisor, I ain't coming back, just so you know. And I guess he had used some Microsoft equipment, laptops, computers, whatever, to send emails. Microsoft did some digging, found out he was going to Google. Long story short, Microsoft sues Google over this hire of Lee, Kai-Fu Lee. So this happened June, July, like I said. We do find out that in Microsoft suing Google, they do get, come September, they do get a Washington state judge to basically state that so the state judge rules that Lee cannot work on products, services, or projects that he worked on at Microsoft for Google, at least up until the trial takes place. Now, I don't know when the trial was scheduled. This was not information I found. They ended up settling, I believe, before the trial, so this was kind of irrelevant. But at least until the trial, the only thing Lee could do was really hire individuals for certain projects and things like that, which I get Microsoft's concern, especially because Lee had access to trade secrets for different search engines and whatnot, sensitive info. I don't know what that could be at a tech company. I'm sure there's a lot of sensitive info that floats around. And business plans, but specifically, while he was at Microsoft, Lee had access to China business strategies. And I think this is the big concern for Microsoft, because if one business knows how another business is going to attack a particular new market, was the word I was looking for, then they can almost undermine it to say, hey, this is the angle you're going from, but we're going to go this angle. I would find it hard for Lee to not, even if he says, look, I'm not trying to hurt Microsoft, I'm just trying to do what's best for me. They offered me $10 million. My salary is competitive. I got to do what's best for me and my family. So this is what I'm choosing to do. They're going to get me back to China maybe or whatnot. I don't know. Hopefully that doesn't come off as too racist. But, long story short, I feel like Lee was just trying to do what he felt was best for him in his career. Corporations, very much like a previous reading we had, was at Duska, basically stated that corporations do not require our loyalty, which I'm in agreement with that. I mean, I think corporations are treated too much as an individual. But that being said, the philosophical theory that I wanted to kind of tie this into was a Kantian theory, mainly because Kant is he's so black and white about it. He's so straight laced about it. I mean, there's no real deviation. You can't say, well, Google had more employees, so, it would make more employees for Google happy if Lee came over. So as a utilitarian kind of perspective, he's doing more good for the Google employees, which outweigh the Microsoft employees. Anyway, getting off topic. The Kantian maxims that I kind of wanted to point out. The first one is the universability principle. Basically, it says in anything that you do, assume that everyone everywhere, this becomes a universal principle. Everyone everywhere is going to be doing this act. So if everyone everywhere is going to be breaking contract, like Lee broke contract with Microsoft, is that a more of a positive or a negative? And does it, number one, does it produce any contradiction in morality? Which obviously it was, because if you break contract with Microsoft to go to Google, what's going to keep you from breaking Google contract to go back to Apple or Microsoft, or, and just start this big, huge rotation? Imagine if every professional in that, which we've spoken a lot to professionalism in this class, so you all have some idea of what I'm referencing when I say professional specifically. But if professionals were to do this willy-nilly, how would that provide any type of stability for any type of society, ultimately? So this is why I say definitely would not approve of Lee's actions, nor do I believe he would approve of Google's actions, because as I stated previously, Google was aware of the non-competition agreement that Lee was required to sign going into his employment with Microsoft, especially at that management executive level. This kind of differs from most of the employment, especially the employment that I've had in my life. I've never had, at least not to my knowledge, had to sign a non-competition agreement. But essentially this would be like, let's say you work for one donut maker, say a Krispy Kreme's, and you get hired on by Dunkin' Donuts. Well, how are they going to be assured that you're not going to use their Krispy Kreme method over at Dunkin' Donuts? So they require you to sign a non-competition act. I think it's wise, it's smart. You want to protect your product that makes you money. If other people begin to produce that product in the same way you do, how can you secure your livelihood, basically, at that point? I do think it's a little, that's super, 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 super simplified. I think it's a little different with tech companies, especially Microsoft, Google, that kind of thing. But for the most part, you get the gist I'm speaking to. So, let's see. In December 2005, Google and Microsoft reached a settlement over Lee's employment. It is considered sensitive, confidential, whatever you want to call it. So I couldn't find the details anywhere on what they decided on with Lee. But needless to say, in 2005, Lee was working for Google after leaving Microsoft for whatever he did. But in any case, thanks for the time, guys. I'm sorry I kind of stumbled through this. I feel like I don't do camera stuff. But anyway, thanks for your time. Thanks for looking over it. And yeah, have a good day. Thanks.